Put a little tacky down here. I'm crazy. Pretty smoothly. Am I 100% certain? No. I think I'll be all right. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and measure here, measure there, measure here, measure there. Double check, measure, 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 double check. YouTubies! We gotta get body mounts made. This week, we figure something out. Cause just look at this. The wheel is in the hole appropriately. Stay tuned, check out what we did. First things first, we gotta come over to our 4x4 Caprice and we gotta rob some parts. These ones. We need the brackets to hold our new body mounts. So we gotta cut 4 of these off. I've already cut 2. And man, they're a little bit of a bugger. Some of the ones I wanna get are holding the body up, so I gotta go with other ones, and well, we're making do. 2 more to go. So I'm gonna take this one, cut around this cable. Hey man, I'll just pull this out. Look at that. That just made that one easier. Cut that one off. Started cutting this one. And then I got one over there. And one's already in the garage because I was test fitting, making sure that these things will actually work. So, let's get to cutting. Alright, I got all of our brackets cut off. Now the plan. Put the bushing in there. Put the bolt through it. Well, I guess not the bolt yet. Put the bushing in there, put it up against the body, and mark a hole that I could drill for the bolt. Once I have the hole drilled, I can put the bolt in. Something like this. Boom, you can see the nut I'm temporarily using. It'll hold it up where I want it. Like this. So now I could tack it right where I want it to stay. And then I could build the rest of the bracket to fill the gaps and go about my day. This one I just got hanging out for a second. The other one on the other side, I've already got it tacked out. Before I even cut it, because I wanted to make sure that these brackets will work. So I only cut one off and then came back for the other 3. Come in here, I haven't drilled the hole yet because, well, I didn't need the hole for that one. I was able to hold it. If you're under here, you can see we got a good tack. Should be good. It'll hold. We got a little bit different frame setup on this one. So this one was a bunch easier than the other one. That's why I have to have the hole drilled on the other side. But the front 2 body mounts, pretty decent. Looking good. Haven't even really looked much at the back yet, but I already think it's gonna be a lot more work on the back. Put a little tacky down here. It'll hold. So now I can lift this front end up, figure out how I want to brace those body mounts, and then figure out my back ones. And I gotta make sure that I get the body right where I want it, so I need to put my other wheels on here because they're bigger. And I want the bumper to almost touch the back when it's laid out, because you know when it's driving, this axle is going to come forward a little bit just because of the way the motion is. So I don't want it to look too goofy. So anyhow, lots of stuff you got to think about while doing this stuff, man. I'm crazy. It's a new wonderful day and it's sunny as a mother out and I'm loving it. So I had to rework some things for the back because, well, I couldn't find long enough bolts at the hardware store. So I came over, was talking to Grandpa, and he's like, dude, what if you just like made a bracket to bolt in where you want it and then put the bolt that you do have, because you know they're long enough to go through the body mounts, you know? So I was like, dude, I didn't even think about that. So here we are. Back to, you remember that hitch that we used to put the hitch on the Chevy? Yeah. Well, I cut the sides off And then, well, I gotta grind down this. Well, I'm not gonna do it all. That's what this little line's for. I just gotta get this little corner down, and it'll sit flush where I need it. Then I need to cut it down to 7.5 or 7 1/4, something in that range. Slice and dice it off. Hey, there's my mark. So that's where I cut it off. Then I've got to figure out where the bolt holes will be, because this is kind of almost like the perfect shape for how it sits down there. Let me show you. Alright, so now we're under the car, and this is where I want to put my bracket here. So once it's cut, you know, we're still full length. This sucker is gonna sit in this range. Okay? Somewhere about there. It's perfect, right? Then our body mount can sit in here, just like so. Boom. And then we're gonna have a bolt go through that mount, through this sucker, and we can bolt it somehow, some way, with this control arm in the way. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a control arm, I don't know, track bar, whatever it is, it's in the way, is what I'm saying. But, you know, I've got some room in here. You know, if we gotta whittle down this rubber, bring this down a little bit, it'll be fine, you know. And then we go weld this bracket right to the frame where we want it, and everything will be just fine back here. Progress being made pretty smoothly, can't complain. Here's what's happening. The bracket, we got both of them made, holes drilled out. Okay, this one's the first one I did, so they're a little bigger and a little not in where they're supposed to be. It's okay. The second one I did was way better. I also went along and well, here's our bushings. I just chopped off the top. So you know what, I don't need that lip. It'll, an inch worth of rubber, it's still plenty of rubber for me to hold up a Honda Chevy. So, well, you know, I also needed just a little bit more clearance for my head yesterday with my bracket and everything all included. So, should help me out. Now I gotta bring it over here, get everything lined up, figure out where I'm gonna put my bolt hole to my bracket I just made to be able to hold all this together. Back under the car for about the 100th time now. Got our plate kind of bolted in. It's got them in there loose. Here's our mount. We're gonna stuff in here. I kind of don't like that this edge is kind of poking over this edge. So I think if I just chop off that corner just a little bit, it'll move me in that 1/2 inch and I'll be all right with it. Am I 100% certain? No. But I think I'll be all right. Might cut a little extra off and move her in a little more and then deal with it later, you know? Drilled us a hole, tack welded a bolt in there. Man, killing it. Now we can put it back in there, see if our little mounty mount will all bolt up there and hold together for just a little bit. Got it back under the car and mocked up. Man, look at all this ness. This is goodness everywhere. Dang, the bolt bolts in, the other bolt goes through. It is a little long, but we could chop that down. And once this, if you ever work on it, instead of putting jack stands on the axle, put jack stands on the frame. The axle will drop. You'll definitely be able to access that bolt. So I think, you know, sold. Yep, I like this. So now I just got to duplicate it for that side. swap out our wheels, put our body where we want it, tack weld these suckers on. Both the backs are mocked in. Looks really good. Man, if you ask me, I am pretty happy with them. This nut's a little closer to the frame, the caprice frame. That's no big deal. We should still be able to get in there with a wrench, hopefully a socket. I'm liking how these body mounts are turning out. My opinion on them has changed a lot since this morning. Next thing to do is get the wheels off, set the body right where I want it, and then I could tack my body mounts on there, and then we'll be able to bolt this body on and off here soon. The only bummer is I gotta take off for a couple hours. I got a birthday party for my buddy's daughter, so I gotta take a pause. I'll be back for that. Hopefully there's enough time that I could swap out these wheels, figure out where this body's gonna go, and tack the body mounts on. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Yeah, something like that. Got lucky, just had enough time to sneak back by, and maybe we can actually get this weekend. Already got the body lifted on a jack. The wheels swapped. Man, do they look good on this car. Man, okay. Quit drooling. Plan is, we gotta set it down and make sure that that metal don't be touching the wheel. And which is, where it's sitting right now would be perfect. You know, I'm never really gonna drive this car while it's aired out. It's always gonna at least have a few pounds in it. So if I could maintain that kind of clearance so it looks good and bring it straight down, we should be golden. Then I gotta make sure we're straight side to side, front to back, square with the frame, man. And then once I figure that out, I'm tacking them back mounts and they're gonna be home. And then we're gonna do the same in the front. We're gonna put the bolt holes in the front, bolt it down, and the body's gonna have body mounts. Man, perfection is hard to achieve. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and measure here, measure there, measure here, measure there. Double check, measure, 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 double check. Anywho, man, that's what I've been doing for like 20 minutes now. Everywhere. Here, we got the same gap on the other side, which is 3/4 of an inch. Perfect. This gap from this seam to the rocker, same, both sides. Another measurement. This one, outside of tire to the body, both sides, same measurement. We're close. I'm tacking it. I got the welder out. We're gonna stick it. There it is. Got them tacked in there, both sides. Can't show you the other side because it's way over there. There it is. As far as I could get because I'm losing daylight fast. You know, and you know, other obligations made my weekend a little shorter. But I'm still happy with the progress we got because, man, I'll tell you, the brain thinking I had to do to get these body mounts right where I wanted them or useful was harder than I expected. I thought it was just gonna be like, done. Nah, of course not. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle this week. Comment something, like, please. Subscribe to the channel too. Watch another video. Thanks for watching this one. Laters.